Welcome back to Unknown Capital. Finally, UFC 253 is finally fucking here. For the co-main event, we have Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blackovich. And then for the main event, finally, what we've all been waiting for is Israel Adesanya versus Paula Costa.
I got this overly inflated balloon animal. This heavy-ass Ricky Martin wannabe. This poha chick.
And I just wanted to give my thoughts on these two fights mainly, so let's get right into the video. So let's start off with the co-main event. So we've seen Jon Jones vacate his light heavyweight title just so that he can go up to the heavyweight division and get knocked out by Francis Ngannou. But hey, it's a good time for him to get back to using that juice. You know, some of that
EPO, some steroids.
So get your sport enhancement drug now. All here available for you. Just call the number on the screen. And they'll also buy one fucking get one free. Yeah! So, Dominic Reyes. This guy has a ton of skills, man, especially in that striking department. And he showcased that against Jon Jones. He made Jon Jones look human in that fight. And I know the judges gave Jon Jones that victory, but I personally thought that Dominic Reyes won that fight 3-2. And then you have people like John Kavanagh tweeting if the fight was to go longer than 5 rounds, then Jon Jones would have dominated. But hey, it's a UFC 5-round fight. I don't care about the 6th or 7th round. It's a 5-round fight, and in that 5 rounds, Dominic Reyes dominated in that 5 rounds, winning 3-2. So what makes Dominic Reyes' striking so good? Well, I would say is his footwork. His footwork is amazing. That in and out, relaxed nature, and then moving to the right and left, really calm, really relaxed, and bam! He'll come at you with a strike. And that just makes him so unpredictable. He's just moving in and out, and people don't expect much. He's not like literally looking at you, he's just relaxed. He's normal, he's calm, he's cool, he's collected, and then boom, all of a sudden he explodes. And even Jon Jones was having a hard time countering Dominic Reyes because Dominic Reyes was just outlanding him in those first 3 rounds. Also, that in and out movement really helps Reyes' countering ability. So once his opponent starts to attack, he will just take that step back to get away from the opponent. So he's going in and out, takes that step back, and then lands. And when he lands, he just throws out a combination. And those combinations just really show the variety that he has in the striking department. He can kick to the leg really well, kicks to the body really well, kicks to the head as well. And then he mixes it up with his punches, making him really unpredictable. And changing the change of levels when he's relaxed and then he explodes, that change of tempo, and then mixing it up with punches and kicks. Oh, he's a nightmare in the light heavyweight division. Also, what makes it worse for his opponents is that knockout power. He has serious knockout power. That left hand is lethal. It's lights out for anybody. This guy knocked out Chris Weidman like it was nothing.
Oh! Early knockdown for Reyes.
He knocks down OSP like it was nothing as well. And he's lucky that that bell rang, or it would have been a TKO win for Dominic Reyes, but it ended up being a decision. Come on. His striking is already good. And to give him those power hands, that power left hand as well, that step back left hand is lethal for anybody. Fuck's sakes, man. Everyone's going to have a difficult time handling Dominic Reyes. I've only talked about his striking. So you must be thinking, hey, maybe the only way to beat Dominic Reyes is by taking him down. Well, guess what? You're wrong again. You see, his takedown defense is amazing. He comes from a wrestling background. He was able to beat one guy in the UFC named Kimball at UFC 218 by submission. And where he best showcased his takedown defense was again against Jon Jones. Jon Jones, we all know, he's known to be a very good wrestler. He was the first guy ever to take down Daniel Cormier, an NCAA Division I wrestler. But yeah, when he tried to take down Dominic Reyes, he had a very hard time, only landing 2 takedowns out of 9 attempts. 9 fucking attempts. Come on, are you serious? And in those 2 takedowns, Dominic Reyes again shows his sheer strength and gets up straight away in the 4th or 5th round, the championship rounds, where your gas tank is needed most, and he got up instantly. I'm telling you, he's a hard guy to beat in the light heavyweight division. So let's move on to his opponent, Jan Blackovich. He's a real experienced fighter in MMA and in the UFC with a record of 26 wins and 8 losses. And his striking is mostly made up of his Muay Thai, and his grappling is amazing too, because he's a black belt in fucking jiu-jitsu. And obviously this leads up to a great resume that he has with 7 knockouts and 9 submissions. So you can tell he's a real well-rounded fighter. Although he may be that well-rounded fighter, his grappling is clearly better than his striking. Thanks to his black belt in jiu-jitsu, this man has the highest takedown accuracy in the light heavyweight division at 52%. And when it comes to his striking, he isn't the most clean, he isn't the most technical, and he does depend on having a brawl at you. But to be fair, this guy can fight going backwards and then hold you into the clinch if you were to charge at him. But if he's charging at you, he runs at you like a headless chicken. But what helps with this though, by being so aggressive, is the fact that he has knockout power. He does have that. Like I said before, this guy has 7 knockouts and he's on a 3-fight win streak. And in that 3-fight win streak, he's knocked out the likes of Luke Rockhold.
Tell Luke was done from the moment he went down. Let's take a look at it again. Boom! The head snaps back. His eyes were all over the place when he got up. Could not focus. Eyes rolled back.
And Corey Anderson. He was the clear underdog in the Corey Anderson fight, and he just knocks him out with one right hand, and boom, that was the fight over, and he's already calling out John Jones.
Right as Anderson starts to engage, boom! That big right hand over the top hurts him bad.
Yeah, he's a ticking time bomb, and he's scary to fight in the light heavyweight division. So who's going to win the light heavyweight championship title? I personally think it's Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes is going to completely dominate him in the striking with his amazing footwork, countering ability, and possibly can knock out Jan Blackovich with his knockout power. Then we move on to the grappling. Jan Blackovich could take him down, but it's very unlikely because Dominic Reyes' takedown defense is absolutely amazing, which he's proven time and time again. Then we move out to the possibility of Jan Blackovich, knocking him out, which is really unlikely because thanks to Dominic Reyes' guard, his chin is always tucked in. So it's going to be really hard for Jan Blackovich, to land that pitch perfect punch. But anything can happen in an MMA fight, but I just think it's very unlikely. The only thing going for Jan Blackovich at this moment is the determination to be the first male Polish champion. We have Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who was the previous strawweight queen, to be the first female champion for Poland. But the determination to be that role model in Poland, to be that first male champion, to attain that's the only thing, that determination to be that. That's the only thing that's going forward for Jan Blackovich to either win this fight, that determination. But besides that, I still think that Dominic Reyes is going to be the new light heavyweight champion of the world. So let's move on to the main event. We have Israel Adesanya versus Paula Costa. And I'm super excited for this fight. It makes so much sense stylistically. And being a fight fan and being a martial artist myself, it really does answer one of the most popular questions when it comes to fighting, when it comes to martial arts. Is it about technique or is it about true muscle power? Who wins? And martial artists and martial arts in general always try to find a way to beat muscle power with its own technique. And we get to see that this weekend. So let's talk about the champ, Israel Adesanya. What makes him the champion in the middleweight division? Well, let me tell you that his striking is absolutely amazing. The variety of tools that this guy has and is able to use is really overwhelming for his opponents. And the best thing that he does is that he uses his opponents' anticipation against them. And that takes a lot of IQ. And I'm not surprised that he has his IQ. Having a kickboxing record of 75-5, that experience, yeah, that's why he has one of the best IQs in terms of striking in the UFC right now. One of the best examples where he displays his IQ is especially against Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares ate a dirty body kick by Israel Adesanya. And obviously not wanting to feel that again, Israel Adesanya uses that against him by lifting that heel and just twisting his hips forward. That's it. And that makes Brad Tavares think, oh shit, a body kick is coming. But it doesn't come. He lifts his heel and then he quickly switches to a jab and a cross. So he's already using the opponent's anticipation against him and making him so dangerous. And the fact that he likes to quickly switch up his attacks at the end, like against Rob Wilkinson in his debut fight. Like, he just literally puts his hand over the top like this. And he's just so fluid and relaxed, and then quickly switches into an uppercut. And he just likes to mentally fatigue his opponents. That's why his striking, it's so overwhelming, it's so destructive to his opponents. Even though that he has a striking accuracy of 49%, what aids this is his takedown defense. His takedown defense is the second highest in middleweight history at 85%. So he's displayed this against people like Derek Brunson, Kevin Gastelum, and honestly, like, he's avoiding those takedowns and keeping the fight at the feet where he mostly dominates. The biggest learning curve for Israel Adesanya is clearly during that Kevin Gastelum fight, where he went on a 5-round war and he won by decision, winning that interim title belt.
Israel, the last Adesanya!
And you can clearly see the difference. You can clearly see the evolution of Israel Adesanya between the Kevin Gastelum fight and the Robert Whittaker fight. In the Kevin Gastelum fight, he obviously was a little bit more careless and reckless, and he got caught a little bit more. But then he learned through those mistakes, and in that Robert Whittaker fight, he was so precise with his strikes. He was avoiding unnecessary brawls with Robert Whittaker. Every time Robert Whittaker tried to charge at him, he will scurry away. But at some point, when it became consistent, he just stopped and stayed and looked for the right opportunity to hit him. And that's why he was able to knock him down twice in that fight, and then eventually getting the TKO knockout at the end.
He's got to be very careful.
So let's talk about Paula Costa. This guy is a pure brute force in the middleweight division. At 13-0, where most of his fights have been finished off with a KO or TKO, except for the Yoel Romero fight, this guy has purely only been reliant on his striking. He's completely forgotten about his grappling, especially in those Ultimate Fighter days where he used to gas out like so quickly. And, you know, and with that terrible fucking haircut. Oh my god. Paula, what the fuck was that haircut back then? Anyway, Paula Costa has managed to knock out and TKO most of his opponents with 11 knockouts in his MMA career. I'm not even surprised by this. He really relies on his muscularity and his size and that pressure that he gives to his opponents. With all those opponents that he's finished with knockout and TKO, and with majority of the Yoel Romero fight, he's managed to put his opponents against the cage where they're square against the cage and they're just taking body shots and hooks to the head.
From these body kicks and these long right hands. Oh, I think McClellan's hurt here. Down goes McClellan.
And the way he gets them there is by that immense fucking pressure, those body kicks as well, and just pushing them back. What makes him even more scary is the fact that against Hall was throwing very good jabs, keeping him at a distance, but still, Paulo Costa managed to walk him down. He looked at him like, is that all you got, bitch? Is that all you fucking got? Bro, Hall threw a spinning back kick. Paulo Costa shakes his head and he's like, nope, not today, bitch. Not today. You're getting back against that fence. And he pushed him. So any strike, Hall threw, right? Paulo Costa was like, nope, not again. And he just kept pushing him and eventually got Hall against the fence and still fell and still got knocked out like the rest of his opponents. And this is what Paulo Costa does. And this is why he's a brute force in the middleweight division. And probably Israel Adesanya's biggest test. So, is Israel Adesanya going to keep his title, or is Paulo Costa going to become the new champion of the middleweight division? I personally think that Israel Adesanya is going to keep his title. This was a very hard fight for me to pick. Like, I was leaning towards Israel Adesanya, but I was kept reminded of Paulo Costa's pressure, the way he walks down his opponents. Wherever you throw at him, nothing affects him. He still seems to walk you down every fucking time. But you know, like, the way I think of it now is like, nah, Israel Adesanya is going to win. Why? Because Paulo Costa's pressure, that immense pressure, the walking you down, putting you against the fence, hitting you with those body shots, body kicks, whatever, it only lasts for 2 rounds. That's it. It's only 2 rounds. The third round, he seems to slow down. His gas tank has emptied. And you see that in the Yoel Romero fight. In the third round, they were at the center of the octagon. Paula Costa wasn't even walking down Yoel Romero. So to think of it, it's like, if you see Israel Adesanya, who is very evasive, very good at getting away from attacks, and can give you some counters as well, he could keep doing that in the first 2 rounds. Then once Paula Costa's gas tank has emptied, and once he's been allowed to work, that's where Israel Adesanya completely dominates and, you know, maybe has the potential to knock him out during the 3rd and 5th round. But I think it's very, very unlikely because Paula Costa is a full-on force. And I see Israel Adesanya only winning by decision. And I think, well, I hope that he's able to keep his title. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe and comment and, you know, just do the whole thing. I know you're missing Vish at the moment, but he's fucked off to Poland.
Wee.
And yeah, like, I can't wait for UFC 253. And please subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. Take care.